before and after photos. And we don't want to break their terms of service because we want to keep our accounts alive and well and promoting our products and services and being able to advertise and do these sorts of things. So here's a way around that. If you look at my photo, you'll see that the left side of the before picture is missing and the right side is there. Well, the left side still shows the before, but it only shows half of it. It only shows the right side of it. This is one way to get through and allow before and after pictures without breaking the terms of service. We're still showing that there's weight loss. We're still showing that there's some type of gain that was created before and then after. Now, you can see here that this campaign, you'll see a box at the top right-hand corner. It says 0.723%. That's the click-through rate. And I ran this campaign for exactly 5 days, so October 31st through November 4th. And since then, it's been about a week, and I continued running the campaign because it produced so well, and you'll see that in just a minute. But since then, I've been able to tweak this ad and make it better. And now that click-through rate is over 5%. And it's pretty neat what you can do with ads when you can start tweaking and testing and doing different things to improve and make them better. But here's what happened with this specific campaign. I spent $84.43, not even $85, and here's some of the results that I was able to achieve. So in those 5 days, I was able to collect over 200 subscribers on my list. 200 people went and actually opted in. They put in their email in that lead capture page that I showed you earlier. Not only that, but I was able to earn over $224 in that 5-day period, in just 5 days. Now I spent $84, a little bit over $84, and I nearly tripled my investment. Not only that, I ended up with 228 likes on the page in that 5-day period, and over 200 subscribers on my email list. And let me ask you, what can you do with that type of weekly lead flow? If you're just spending $85 a week and generating 200 leads, I mean, we're talking about spending less than $400 a month to generate 800 hot leads for your health and wellness business. Now, before I get into the training, I do want to give a little disclaimer on Facebook. And, this is something that I've been doing for years. This is something I've been training on for years. And this is something I really want you to understand because it's important. Number one is Facebook marketing. It's not hard. It's not difficult. There is a learning curve, just like anything else that you're ever going to learn. There is a learning curve. It does take a little bit of time to kind of sink in, but it's not hard. Number two is Facebook marketing is not an overnight project or success. I mean, unless you consider me an overnight project and success from 2007, then, well, 6 years is a pretty long night, but it's not something that happens overnight, okay? And number three is Facebook marketing is not a complete replacement to other marketing efforts. So whatever you're doing right now, if you're using LinkedIn or you're using Twitter, or you're going to networking events, keep doing what you're doing, just add Facebook marketing to the equation. But just remember that Facebook marketing is not a complete replacement to all those other marketing efforts, at least not right away. Now, before I get into it, I wanted to share this statistic, or foundational statistic. I found this statistic pretty interesting. Now, this is kind of a data statistics from 2011, and as of 2013, there's now nearly 1 billion users, active users. It says 699. This is from the beginning of the year, and I actually did some more research earlier today, and I found out there's nearly 1 billion active Facebook users right now on Earth, on planet Earth. Now, a cool statistic is 48% of 18 to 34-year-olds, and I fit in this demographic, check their Facebook right when they wake up. And I know that to be true because I'm one of those that fits into that demographic. Now, about 28% of that statistic check their Facebook on their smartphones before getting out of bed. And again, I'm going to raise my hand and say that's me. I'm part of that demographic. And I find it really cool. And, people are obsessed. People are just obsessed with Facebook. I mean, I don't really have to go through a bunch of statistics and show you guys why you should be doing Facebook. I mean, if it's not obvious, I don't think you'd be on this webinar right now. Now, what I want to cover tonight on this training and, something that you can really take home and start applying right away is the 4 things that make these types of Facebook-like campaigns work. So if you're already starting fan pages and you're already building, maybe you're part of the course that I did several months back, maybe you've been following me, maybe you've been in a coaching program with me, I'm going to give you the 4 things that make Facebook-like campaigns work. And I'm going to hope that you apply it. And, if you're serious, we'll show you a way on how you can work closer with us in just a little bit at the end of this presentation. So let's get going. Let's jump right into this training. Number 1, we need a well-targeted audience. you're obviously going out there, you're looking for likes, you're looking for fans. Therefore, you want your ad to show to the most relevant audience who are most likely to say yes or like to the page that you're promoting, the topic that you're promoting. Now, targeted audience, it could be the age demographic, the gender, it could be their interests, their hobbies, the books that they read, the movies that they watch. You're looking for a well-targeted audience. Not only you know who your perfect customer is, only you know what the demographic fits. But let me give you some ideas on how you can go out there and really start honing down and finding that well-targeted audience. Just a couple ideas. Media kits. Now, some of you read magazines. I know I do. When I'm traveling, I read Entrepreneur Magazine, I read Forbes, I read different business and money magazines, entrepreneurial magazines. Media kits are a great way to determine the best age demographic and gender that you want to target. And so if I wanted to target entrepreneurs or people that read Entrepreneur Magazine, I could actually pick up a media kit from Entrepreneur Magazine and find out exactly who that demographic is. I could also search Google. I can go to popular blogs and I could search Google for different demographics for different niches. There's also something called AdSprouts. Here's a picture of AdSprouts. It's a database. It's an online database of thousands of magazine media kits. So if there's a magazine that you read and you want to target the readership or the base of the readership for that magazine, AdSprouts can help you figure out exactly what that target audience is. Another website is called Quantcast. Another resource for you if you're taking notes, quantcast.com. This is a great resource if you have popular blogs that you subscribe to, that you read. I can give you an example. I read Mashable, which is a social media blog and a business blog, tech trends blog. I can go to Quantcast and I can put in a website and it'll give me the exact demographics of that website. Who's going there, who's reading it, who's engaging in that, who's leaving comments. It's going to give me a lot of demographics and a lot of insight as far as who I want to target in my campaigns in my niche. Some other things that will help you determine a well-targeted audience is going to be interests and categories, hashtags, connections with different pages and different groups, and also something called custom audiences, which is an advanced topic which we can't really get into tonight on this webinar. But things like the books that somebody reads, the movies that they watch, what would they really be into? If they like pets, if they like dogs, what types of things are those people going to be into? What types of hobbies are they going to have? What types of organizations are they going to support? Different things like that. And these are the types of things that you want to look at when you're forming that well-targeted audience. Now, a bonus tip I'm going to give you is a question I often get is, how big should the audience that you're marketing to be? When you're setting up your ad, you're filling out the categories, you're finding that age demographic, you're finding that gender, you're filling all that information out. How big should that audience that you're marketing to be? And my preference is I like to target at least 1 million users, and I have a little asterisk here. And what that asterisk refers to is unless you're using custom audiences, which again, we can't get into on this webinar, but unless I'm using custom audiences, I like to target at least 1 million users, as that gives Facebook more room to really maneuver in placing my ad, getting my ad seen more often. But really, your target audience should just be as large as it is, while targeting as tightly as possible in your niche. So in other words, don't make decisions based on the audience number that Facebook gives you. Make your decisions based on the data that you're getting from the media kits, that you're getting from Quantcast, that you're getting from some of these different sources that I just gave you. And really, from patient explorations, you'll get exactly what that number is. But as a starting point, at least 1 million users. Number 2, an attention-grabbing image. Now, your ad image is the key to getting your prospective fans' attention. It's the first thing they see. Visually, it's the first visual thing that they see, is the image that will draw them to your ad. And they're going to read your headline, they'll read your text, but the first thing they're going to see is they're going to see the image. So let's break down exactly some of the things that you want to do and you want to avoid doing to help you create good images. Number one is you want to avoid using logos. A, you don't want to use logos because they're impersonal and they don't create a connection. B, you want to be very careful because if you're using logos that aren't your own, you can get in a lot of trouble with Facebook. But logos are impersonal. They don't create any kind of connection. You're not, when you put a logo out there, nobody really cares about your brand. They care about the topic, the interest. They care about who you are. They want to connect with you. So you want to avoid using logos at all costs. Number 2, portraits over landscapes. Now, what does this mean? If you can use a photo with a face in it, do it. So let me give you an example. Let's say I have a page that's called I Love Biking. A biker looking at the camera is way better than a landscape shot of a bunch of bikers. Now, what do I mean by this? This is an example here. You have a biker that's looking directly at the camera. This is a good image to use. Versus you have a bunch of bikers. Now, the bunch of bikers on the right seems like the more logical picture to use, but in reality, and after months and months of testing, the picture on the left is going to create more of a personal connection and is going to get your click-through rate going up through the roof. Now, there's ways to make this picture on the left a lot more appealing in an ad, but just this picture alone on the left is going to get a much higher conversion rate than the picture on the right, just by using the portrait over landscape model. Number 3 is color borders help. A lot of people ask me, should I do color borders? What color border should I use? Color borders are definitely going to help in making sure that your ad sticks out. One thing that you want to make sure that you don't do is you don't want to use blue. Blue is a Facebook color. If you want to stand out, don't use a color that Facebook is using in their own branding. A tip I'm going to give you, and something that I've personally tested, is women don't like the color red. So if you're going after a women demographic, or if women is the major gender you're going after, don't use red in your border. If you want to use a similar color, use pink, use magenta, use purple, but don't use red. It's something that I've learned over a lot of testing, is most women won't respond well to the color red. Now, personally, and this is kind of small here, but a resource that I want to give you is if you're going to be creating images and you want to put some borders on it, there's a lot of really good web-based photo editor tools you can use that are free. 2 of those are going to be ribbit.com. It's RIBBET.com. You could also use pixlr.com. They're both completely self-explanatory, and they provide you with everything from cropping to resizing, filters, frames, borders, and a lot of other features that you can pick and choose from, and they're free. Now, you can also try Jing if you prefer to have something on your desktop, or if you participate in the mastermind with us, we'll show you some of the techniques that we use in creating very professional and good-looking photos that convert very well in Facebook advertising marketing. Number 3, a logical headline. What does this mean? A logical headline. The headline of your ad should serve as a qualifier. It's a qualifier for finding your prospective buyer, your customer, someone you're going to offer something to. It helps to establish relevance, and it helps to create that first connection with your interested fan that you're going to be getting to your page. Now, what do I mean by that? A logical headline should be something where it's short, to the point,